want to draw Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. Many people will think so. This video is a tutorial video to draw the expressions of Tanjiro like you are watching now. Hope you will watch this video and draw good at this character. First of all, I will start from the sketch of Tanjiro. I think the characters in this anime are more characteristic than the other Jump characters. What surprised me was that Tanjiro has no bangs. The hero of boys manga usually has bangs and full of energy. On the other hand, Tanjiro doesn't have bangs and has a very serious personality. Because of his personality, I think there are a lot of female fans at Demon Slayer. It's my first time to draw such a character, so it was a little difficult for me to draw the hair of Tanjiro. Also, Tanjiro has a wound on his left forehead. I noticed it while drawing. The wound on the forehead of Tanjiro in the first half is different from that in the latter half. This time, I'm drawing his wound in the latter half. Speaking of Tanjiro, it's a characteristic earring. This earring pattern comes from a card game called Hanafuda. When I was little, I used to play this Hanafuda card game at my grandmother's house in Japan. So, when I look at his earrings, I recall the memory a little. The illustration is almost complete, but I thought his face was out of balance, so I adjusted it with the last tool. The eyes, nose, and the mouth were smaller than the outline of the face, so I made them larger. I noticed on the way, I forgot to draw a box for Nezuko that Tanjiro always carries. Also, this box is an important gift from Rokudaki-san. To save time, I duplicated the illustration of Tanjiro I have drawn before and changed the facial expression and face angle based on it. Tanjiro's eyes are not pure circles. It's a small matter, but it's a little angular. The circles in the eyes are also angular. So please draw them carefully when you draw him. The smiling face Tanjiro drew his face a little sideways. So the one I first drew felt unbalanced. So I fixed the balance. I was wondering if I should draw this illustration, but I did. I like the scenes where Tanjiro sympathizes with the demon in Demon Slayer. I wanted to describe such a merciful smiling face. This smile has the image that he often shows Inosuke. The point to draw a smile when his eyes are closed is that there is a quiet distance between the eyebrows and the eyes. The third expression was a very simple task, just changing the shape of the happy face, eyebrows, and mouth. Angry facial expressions can be changed by simply changing the shape of the eyebrows. Also, adding lines under his eyes or nose can make him feel more angry. Sometimes, Tanjiro shows stubbornness. Characters of Demon Slayer tend to have some lines in their eyes and nose. It's a detail point, but it's a good idea to keep in mind when you draw Demon Slayer characters. It's difficult to draw a surprisingly confused expression. The shape of the confused eyebrows should be drawn like a wave. Also, adding the sweat that is often used in comics will make it even more realistic. This time, I'm going to color it later, so I didn't dare to shade this sweat at the time of drawing. I also drew a profile of Tanjiro. I think that the point of the profile is a thin and long nose. There is a deep groove between the forehead and the nose, so the nose may look characteristic. Probably, I think that many people are not good at drawing a side profile, so I drew the large illustration. If I do so, you can see the hairstyle, eyes, and the forehead wound more clearly. I drew the base of the profile, so all I have to do is change his eyes and mouth. I was wondering if I should draw his regretful face or not, but I thought it would be good to draw it after that. When you apply color, let's first roughly paint with the bucket tool in the digital tool. At this time, it is convenient to make a layer for the eyes, nose, and mouth together so that the number of parts that need to be repainted will be decreased. It may look weird without a face, but I'm saving the coloring time by separating the layers. I think that Tanjiro's hair is really unique. Mainly, on the tips of the hair apply a light red color. In reality, there are few people who do such a hairstyle. But I also think that this color hairstyle is just Demon Slayer. In his eyes, I add the same light red color as the tips of the hair. The shadow under the mouth has a lumbar shape, and I think this is also a characteristic of Demon Slayer. I forgot to draw the details of the gland of the box that carries Nezuko here, so I'm drawing them now. From the next illustrations, I will use the eyedropper functions to apply the same colors that I previously colored. If you do this, coloring is very easy. I think that the illustrations of Demon Slayer basically have many Japanese lines. What I want to say is that there are many brush-like lines. It is often characterized by thick lines and thin lines. The characteristics are most manifested in the special skill of Tanjiro. 全集中の呼吸 In Japanese, we say so. At this time, he does a blessing technique of water. Then, an illustration of water is drawn around him. I feel that this water illustration is a very classic Japanese illustration. The setting of Demon Slayer is in the Taisho era of Japan, and the clothes and background are drawn according to that era. So the line drawing of characters sometimes feels old Japanese-like lines. This time, I couldn't express such the lines very well. But if you want to draw the character of a Demon Slayer, please try to draw the brush-like lines consciously. From his angry look, I will color the open mouth. The point here is to add the shadow of the upper teeth to the tongue. A stubborn look has smaller eyes than an angry face. Also, if you put an anger mark on the forehead, you will feel more angry from him. His confused face also changes the basic color in the same way. And I will color sweat. Apply dark color to the center of the sweat and white color around it. Then the sweat looks more three-dimensional. And to get a more realistic look, let's erase the black line. This is the final commentary. It is a color painting of the side profile of Tanjiro. I think it's difficult to color his hair even on the profile. But just like before, I'll apply a light red color to the tips of the hair. If you draw a shadow from the chin to the neck, it will look more three-dimensional. When you draw a profile, you don't have to change the nose unless you make an exaggerated look. So, it's easy to paint with just the eyes and the mouth. I think it's difficult to draw a profile, but it's easy to color. So, let's try to draw a profile of Tanjiro. Thank you for watching this video. If this video is interesting, please give me a like. Also, if you ask a question about the illustration in the comment section, it will be answered as possible as. Depending on the content, I may post new videos for answering your doubts and comments. So please subscribe to Animenbo and set notifications for this. There are many people who watch the videos and don't register. So I will be very happy if you help me to grow. See you again in the next video.